Guys, so I am back home and I am thrilled to death to be back in the comforts of my house. I love to travel, but there's no place like being home. So I've had some unfortunate experiences while I was away. I pulled out my back. It could have been from pushing a wheelchair with 300 pounds of weight in it. It could have been from using the medicine ball in the gym, but I haven't been able to exercise for a couple of days. And I wanted to tell you, it doesn't feel good. I like to be able to do what I like to do when I want to do it. And it's a little discomforting. But that kind of brings me to what I want to tell you, that discomfort. So, you know, getting back into the shape that I wanted to get in took time, consistency, and persistence. So it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing you're doing happens overnight. And there's a lot of people out there claiming that everything happens overnight and they make it look like it's instant success. And that's not true. You know, took me a long time in dedication and persistence, and every time I hit a milestone or a goal, I celebrated it, and it made it easier to continue on that journey. But it certainly wasn't overnight, and I learned things along the way. That's what happens. You learn things along the way. What works, what doesn't. So I'm telling you this because the title of this is No Excuses. But before I go on to that, so it takes a long time to get to where you want to get, but a couple of days not working out can make a big difference, you know? So I had to really decide today whether the pain was great enough not to get up and exercise, because if I stay in that mental mode, the chances are it's harder to get back up. So I decided the pain is greater if I don't do it. So that's where I'm at. So I want to talk to you about no excuses. You guys have been here for a while and you listen to me and stuff. And when I decided to come out on the front lines, I had decided that I could help in a greater way. But fear kept me in the background for a little while. I was afraid of coming up online and telling people about who I am and where I'm from and stuff like that. I think everybody has those fears. It's not just me. You know, everybody wants to be loved and feel like they belong, you know, and sometimes that keeps us stuck in a bad place. So I think we need to talk about that. So a lot of you still don't know maybe anything about me, and I don't know that sharing my dirty laundry is going to make you feel any better, but it might help somebody out there. So let's start with that, you know. So no excuses. There's no excuses to really not live your best life. No excuses to stay stuck in a trauma or a past bad experience, because once they're gone and they're out of your life, the longer you hold on to them, the longer they continue to really run and ruin your life, you know. So whether you need emotional help or you need to go and speak to someone, I encourage you to do that, because I didn't have the greatest life. And a lot of people told me that I wouldn't amount to anything, that I would never become anyone. And the more they said that, the angrier I got, you know, because I knew I deserved better. And the worst thing you could tell me is that I can't do something, or I shouldn't have something, because it, you know, it's not that I'm spiteful, but it gives me more of a drive to prove you wrong. Like, I'll show you. And that's how most of my life was spent. Well, I'll show you. But that was what gave me the motivation and the drive. It wasn't for them. It was really for me all along. But I needed that extra kick, because some of those things could have kept me down, and I didn't allow them to be. So, you know, I'm with She Rises Studios, and we've had a lot of books, you know, Me Too and Never Again, and that talks about molestation and sexual assault and trauma. And I don't really think that there's a book that they put out that I couldn't have been part of, because the truth is it happens to a lot of people, and a lot of people just don't talk about it. So that's what I really love about Hannah and She Rises, because they're making it acceptable for people to come out and really talk about those traumas so that they can heal and they can move on. So, I mean, I was molested as a child. I couldn't have been more than 6 years old. I was sexually assaulted at 15. Somebody thought it might be a cute idea to slip me a roofie, and I was left for dead, but I did not die. My sister found me, and I did wind up living through that. Just those two things, alone are enough to really set someone back. But those were kind of, I think, Tony says everything, Tony Robbins says, things happen to you. They don't happen to you. They happen for you. But I wasn't in a good place in my life those times, and maybe I needed those to give me the drive to get back up and do something more with my life and say that I deserve better or I need more, I do talk about in my videos that I walked into AA at 13 years old. I was a full-blown alcoholic. So I was born allergic to alcohol. I mean, a physical, actual allergy, not just alcoholism being in my family, like hospital allergy. But that didn't stop me from drinking and wanting to escape the feelings I was feeling and not want to feel, because a lot of these things that I went through, of course, hurt. They do hurt, but I had to decide to put that down and feel, if I was going to move through it. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to tell you that it was, but and a very emotional ride that first year, and I had to say goodbye to a lot of those people in my life that were causing me pain. That wasn't easy either, but I knew that they weren't helping me. They were hurting me. So we do have to make choices in life, That same year, I would break my back, and I would be told that I was going to be crippled. I would start getting seizures because of the brain trauma. And again, I decided, sorry, you're wrong, And I was talking to my girlfriend. She's my best friend since we were kids, on the way home. And I told her, I think I was always meant to be in the hospital. She said, what an odd thing to say. What do you mean? And I said, well, ever since I was little, I've always been in the hospital. I was very sick at birth. My lungs weren't developed, and I spent like the first year of my life in the hospital. With a hole in my chest, a trach, blue treatments. I was in New York Foundling Hospital. So, and there was love and comfort and support and all those things that I feel every time I walk into a hospital now. So a lot of people think like I give so much to nursing, but it's given so much to me, even from the very beginning of my life. And I know that has a lot to do with why I stay, because I just feel so much gratitude and hope and love every time I go in there, comfort. So, but even through the AA, I would find out I wouldn't be able to drive, and I was just about to turn driving age because of the seizures, and I would have to be on medication for that. And then I did walk. I did get better with the love and the support of the nurses, and then I would get diagnosed with cancer, and I was in that pity party, why me? Why do these things always happen to me? I wasn't really looking at my part in it, the people that I was surrounding myself with, choices that I was making, because it was easy to play the blame game. Nobody wants to believe it's their fault. And then, I would continue on that path, and then I would start to feel a lot of gratitude and be very grateful, and then something, things would start going wrong, or I'd be, like poor me, I have to put myself through college, I have to do this, whatever, because it doesn't have to be something significant. I mean, nobody gave me anything in life. I worked for everything I have, and I continue to work. So it doesn't have to be significant to bring you to that place, So there's a saying in AA, we go for our drinking, but we stay for our thinking, because it's very easy to go back to that pity party. So I continue to go for it. today, you know. And if I put the days of my sobriety together versus the days of my drinking, I have a lot more sobriety than I've ever did drinking. And I continue to go. I'm going to have to go for the rest of my life because it does give me my medicine. And I'm so okay with that. I wouldn't trade my life today for any day that I spent drunk or anything like that. I would never trade. So, but a lot of people, you know, I come out here and I'm happy all the time and I'm talking about positivity and people maybe like, oh, you don't understand, you know, you haven't lived my life. When I walked into AA, I thought that I was the only one that felt that way, you know, and turned out there was a lot of people hurting just like me, and that really did feel that way. So you're really not alone. Whatever you think you're going through that's that bad, there's somebody out there going through worse or similar, and that's what the online space or friends and family, that's why they're there, to help you through this. And you know, and if you don't have friends and family and people that you can confide in to help you through this, then you need to reach out and find that support. And you can certainly reach out to me. I know there was someone in this group that said her biggest problem with losing weight was drinking. You have to decide what's more important to you, you know. I would get cancer again, you know, and I would have to fight for my life again. But it seems like in my life that I was always fighting for my life, for the right to live better, for the right to have more, for the right to feel better. And maybe that was an internal struggle, or that, you know, that I didn't believe at that time in my life that I was worth more, and I was surrounding myself with less. So today I surround myself with better, you know, and even building the business that I'm building. Is it easy? No. Do I have to give up time with family and friends? Absolutely. Does it get easier over time? Yeah, but you still have to put in that commitment every day. Nobody goes from starting a business to making millions of dollars over the night, unless maybe you're Tony Robbins. But you don't go into it for money or for things like that. You go into it because you want something of your own, or you want to help people with something you're really good at, you know, and everybody has that thing. But there's a lot of people out there walking around feeling like, you don't understand, you know, you haven't been through what I've been through. And maybe I haven't been through exactly what you've been through, but I've been through enough. And what I mean by that, it was enough of me saying, okay, I'm going to accept this and this life and these things that I know I don't deserve, and start really reaching out for the things that I did and moving in that direction, putting myself through college. And even this with the online business, it's work. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys don't realize that it takes time to come up with all this content that I'm so good at, you know, to really suit and help. Like this month coming up, I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that are very near and dear to me, like childhood diabetes and things like that, and mental illness, you know, because I think everybody has some form of mental illness or not, and I don't mean that in a broad way, but I don't think there's too many people out there that don't know what stress and anxiety is about, and I think it does impact us all in a major way. So I would very much like to see by the end of my life that that's more normalized, and people can say I'm depressed, or I'm anxious, or I'm scared, or I'm sad, or just be able to voice what they're feeling without criticism, or, you know, people condemning them. So I'm going to be advocating for more of that on that front. So suicide prevention is coming up in September. There's a week, the 10th to the 16th, so all of my stories and all of my pages will be dedicated in solidarity to that week. And it's childhood obesity awareness month and yoga month and all these great things that I really feel pretty cool about. So I'm going to be really talking about them. You know, I know people think, oh, you should just talk about this, or you should just talk about this, but these are all impacting us in a big way. And whether it's you that's fighting with diabetes or struggling with diabetes or your child, it's impacting your family. And I'm more concerned with helping on a larger scale. Um, and I know that might sound selfish, but I know that I can help a lot of people out there, you know. So that's the other thing too. I come out here in the morning and I say that I'm abundant and I'm this and I'm that. And a lot of this really is who we show up as every day. Because if you don't think that things are going to happen and live as if they're happening now, then they won't. Because you keep telling yourself those old stories, you know. I don't have enough money to write a book, or I don't have enough money to start my own business, or I don't have enough money. And you keep telling yourself that. But if, you know, you wanted something for yourself and it meant enough to you, you would find the money for it, you know. I didn't know that I was going to have enough money to write a book or to do all those things, but it was important enough for me to do it. So you know, I took away from something I really didn't need and to put it into something I do, you know. And it's a choice. Again, it's a choice. It's a choice to turn on the news and listen to the garbage that's going on all over the world, or be a better person in the world that you're living now and maybe change that trajectory of what's happening on the news, you know, because kindness goes a long way. So, so I've been through a lot of things in my life. I did have very abusive marriage. My first marriage, I have a better marriage today with my husband many years. And I'm a very lucky woman, but it wasn't always that way. So, and I could have stayed stuck, and I made a decision that I deserved more and I was worth more. And you have to make that decision too. There's really no excuse not to be the best person you could be, to face the next goal that's on your agenda, to show up and be the best version of yourself on a day-to-day basis. To, if you have fitness goals or health goals, there's no excuse not to reach for them and achieve them, because you really can achieve anything in this life that you set your mind to. It doesn't happen for all of us as quick as Tony Robbins. And you know, I would love to tell you that me starting my own business, that money wasn't a part of it. But I'd be lying through my teeth. Of course it's a part of it, because the more money I have, the more people I can help. So it's not because I'm thinking about living in a grand house or something else. I'm perfectly happy in my little home. So it's not about that. You could say that money doesn't matter or it's not important, but you really can't help people on a large scale in the way that you want to unless you have more money. I can donate more, I can help more, I can give more free things away, because you know I am still making money, right? So, but you have to really decide what it is you want in life. Grab the bull by the horns and do it. You know, at 56 years old, I really don't give a shit what people say about me, because I've earned the right to be who I am and show up as I am. And not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody. I'm not going to sit well with everybody, and that's okay, because not everybody sits well with me too. But does that mean I don't help the people I'm meant to help, or share my story, my life, and maybe help the people I can? No, that would be wrong, you know. So I mentioned I don't I don't dance on Instagram. That's just not who I am. So I have to find a way to show up that is uniquely me and makes me comfortable. And this seems to be that way, you know. I like interviewing other people and finding out what other people are doing in their life to get to those goals and stuff like that, because I love people. So I like interacting with other people. I don't get that much out of sitting on a Zoom or something, just me, you know. I already know what's going on in my head. So it's not all good all the time either. So so that's it. I want you to know a little bit more about me, maybe like, who is this quack and why does she show up? And a lot of people told me that I wouldn't have anything, I wouldn't be anything, or you know, I didn't deserve, or And I could still be listening to those stories if I chose to, but I know that I deserve more. I know that I can do more. I know that anything that I set my mind to, I can do. You know, when I was a little girl, I wanted to play on an all boys football team. People told me I couldn't. It wasn't done. Boys with the boys and girls with the girls. Well, that didn't turn out to be true either. I got to play on that all boys team because I fought for it and nobody else did before that. So I fought for what I wanted and I got it. Guess what? I was quarterback that year and we did win. So you have to go for what you want with the same fervor that you go for anything else. You know, we're not entitled. A lot of people feel a sense of entitlement that things should just come to them. You do have to reach out to them. You can't sit in your living room and dream. You have to go out and live those dreams. So I don't know where you are today, but if life hands you those lemons, you got to keep making lemonade. You got to keep showing up. You know, I went away to get away for a while and just relax. You know, step back from my business, just relax and just enjoy that time. You know, anything that could go wrong really did go wrong. You know, I couldn't wait to sit by the pool and read my book. It rained every day, you know. Then the sun came out one day and he said, oh, great, I'm going to go outside and read my book. Because that's what I like doing, right? I know soon to get out there, then here comes the rain. But I didn't let it dissuade me. I said, okay, what else can I do for myself that's going to help me relax and enjoy the day? And I went to a spa. You know, I did my toes. I did little things like that. So you have to learn to pivot. Things aren't always going to go exactly as you plan, you know. Even if we are the nicest people in the world, not everybody out there is the nicest people in the world. And bad things do happen to good people. I have two people in my life right now that I love very much that are going through cancer. You know, one hasn't formally been diagnosed yet, but they're going to put on that happy face and get through what they need to get through, you know, with help and love and support, you know. Yeah, Hannah talks openly about her disease and her diagnosis, and she gets up and she writes books and she starts TV show series and gets other women to support other women. So it is a choice. You just have to choose. So what are you deciding for yourself today? You know? And I know that there's a lot of people out there suffering from trauma. I wrote about something on my profile the other day, and someone said, thank you for sharing so honestly and open, you know, about that things that go on the outside of our body start in our mind way before they happen on our body. Those are the results of our feelings and our thoughts about ourselves, and now they've just shown on the outside. So we have to work on the inside and the outside. But you do have to change your mind around, you know, your defense or whatever it is you're doing, because that's what got you into that place, you know. So if we're depressed and we're sitting at home eating ice cream every day, we are going to gain weight, right? It's going to happen. So it should come as no surprise to us when we wake up 6 months later and we put on 10 pounds, right? So these things do start in our minds, you know, wherever they're stemming from. It doesn't necessarily have to be depression. It could be a bad breakup, or maybe your life is busy, because my life was very busy, you know. I worked every single day, 12 hours a day, you know, and then I went to help with my mom, or I went to see my sister, or, you know, and I was out of my house 19, 20 hours of 24 hours a day. I wasn't sleeping right. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't really exercising back then. I wasn't doing any of the things that you need to do for your health, you know. And I was working in health all the time, helping other people, telling them how to do it, but I wasn't taking my own advice, you know. It happens. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Life gets busy and we forget what's important to us. But they tell you in AA that anything you put before your recovery, you'll lose. That goes with anything in life. You know, anything you put before yourself will not be in your life. It just won't. Because when you put other things before yourself, you become resentful, or something else will happen to push that away and make you have to come back and say, okay, where am I in this? You have to put yourself first. We get involved in marriages and relationships, and we have this need to help everybody and take care of everybody, and then we get lost in that, and then we get angry like, oh, I didn't find time for this, I didn't find time for that. You have to find time for yourself every day. You could do it today, or you could wake up 6 months down the road and say, okay, what happened to me? Where am I in this? Or 6 years, or 20 years, In my life, I had so many people telling me that I couldn't do things and I shouldn't do things. And it gave me the drive, but, it was very much later when I said, okay, what really makes you happy and what do you want to do, right? And that was a tough question, because I had been doing everything for everybody else for so long, and at my age, there's no better feeling than to know that everything I do from the moment I wake up to the time I go to sleep has me somewhere in there. I'm doing it because this makes me happy. It improves my relationships. It improves my business. It makes me feel good, So that's all I wanted to say. There's really no excuse. I know I have friends that are still talking about people that wronged them 30 years ago. Let go of it. For Christ's sake, just let go of it, because they are not sitting around worrying about you, and the only one that's still hurting is you because you're holding on to it. So forgive and move on. You don't like what happened, then choose not to have those people in your life so that you don't continue running in those same circles. Choose to be around positive people that lift you up all the time, and your life will get better. I talk about She Rises Studios a lot. It's a platform for women, supporting women, because clearly there is an uneven disadvantage out there. But that doesn't mean if you're a man and you need that support that you can't reach out to us, because we're here for you. We are here for you. We don't by any means make anybody feel like they're not part of our circle. You're all part of a circle. We love you all. I'm really having difficulty with my mouth today. I haven't been drinking as much water as I usually do. All these things, when you're not home, you kind of get away from. So today I feel good. I'm back on track. I have to stay on track because you do get away from things. I've been working really hard in my business. I'm working on like 6 different projects at once, and what I've decided to do is put 3 of them down and just do 2 are not really big. They're more a project for myself, and one is well, it is my business, but it does have me inside of it. I have to be part of it for it to really work. So but one of them is really important to me. So you do have to make decisions. I could be half-assed in all of them, or I can show up and really give the best of me to the one that's most important. So that's what I did, and I have to say no to the other people. But that's what happens. So life is all about making choices. So today, just realize that every choice that you make from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep does have an element of there is a reaction to that, so everything is a chain reaction. I never script anything. I just show up here and talk, and sometimes that could bite me on the ass because I don't, I just get off on these little tangents sometimes, but I'm not that script girl. I can't be. So forgive me sometimes if I fumble those words, but everything that you do is going to have an impact on your life in one way or another. Every choice you make. So choose well, choose you always, and have a great day. Nice to be back.